All right, let's get right into it. The legendary business philosopher Jim Rohn spent like 40 years studying what really separates the successful from the unsuccessful. And you know what he found? It wasn't about luck or talent, it was all about discipline. So today, we're going to take his timeless wisdom and turn it into a real, practical plan for building those life-changing habits you've always wanted to start. Man, this quote is the whole game right here. Rohn's whole philosophy was that we all have to carry one of these two pains. There's no escaping it. One is that light, kind of annoying discomfort of doing the thing you know you should do. The other? It's that crushing, heavy, lifelong weight of knowing you could have. Our entire future literally just hinges on which one of those we decide to pick up each day. So, how does this choice actually play out in real life? Well, Rohn had this brilliant way of explaining it with a simple story about two men. It shows how these tiny, almost invisible daily choices start to stack up over time and eventually create completely different worlds. Okay, so picture this. Two guys, both 25 years old. They have the same job, make the same money, start at the exact same place. Man A makes a few simple, positive choices every day. He reads a little, he saves a little, he shows up a few minutes early. Man B, well, he makes a few simple negative choices. He watches TV, spends just a little more than he makes, and pretty much just does the bare minimum. Now, here's the really interesting part. On any given day, these choices look like they make no difference at all. And that is exactly why it is so easy to make the wrong ones. And that's the trap, right? After a week, you can't tell them apart. After a year, okay, maybe one has a slight edge, a little something. But you fast forward 5 years, and they are completely different people. And after a decade, forget about it. They are literally living in different worlds. The disciplined guy is wealthy, he's respected, he's free. The other guy, he's broke, he's frustrated, and he feels completely trapped. And the difference wasn't some big lottery win or disaster. It was just the slow, steady compounding of those tiny daily choices. This perfectly explains the sneaky nature of bad habits, doesn't it? I mean, eating one cheeseburger doesn't wreck your health. Skipping one workout doesn't make you out of shape. Spending an extra $50 here and there doesn't make you go broke. The damage is totally invisible in the short term, and that's what makes it so easy to do it again and again and again, until one day you just wake up and wonder, how on earth did I get so far off track? So if discipline is this powerful secret weapon, why do we fight it so hard? Well, it's because most of us have a completely wrong idea about what it is. We think it's all about deprivation and suffering, like we have to white-knuckle our way through life. Ron argues that's not discipline at all. That's just being miserable. And here it is. This is the big idea, the crucial point. Real discipline isn't about punishment. It's just a calm, conscious choice. It's looking at the donut and looking at the apple and simply choosing the one that helps the person you want to be a year from now, over the quick pleasure you're craving right this second. That's it. You're choosing your long-term goals over your short-term comfort. This one is a huge reality check. There is no standing still. There is no pause button. With every little decision you make, to read a book or scroll on your phone, to save that $10 or spend it, to go for a walk or stay on the couch, you are either building the future you want or you're slowly taking it apart. You're either moving up or you're sliding down. There is just no neutral gear. Okay, so that's the big idea, the philosophy. But how do we actually put this into action? The key, and this is so important, is to not try and change your entire life overnight. That never works. You start with just a few simple disciplines, things that are so small they almost seem insignificant. So let's actually start building your daily habit tracker right now. Here are 3 amazing places to start. Just read 10 pages. You expand your mind, you learn something new. Go for a walk. You clear your head, you get some energy in your body. Save a tiny amount of money, just $10, to start building that muscle of financial security. Now, Ron's key insight was this. Anything that is easy to do is also easy not to do. The simple choice between those 2 easy options, that's where your whole future gets created. And the real magic here isn't just in reading the pages or taking the walk. It's about what that action does to you. See, when you read those 10 pages, you're not just getting smarter. You're proving to yourself that you are the kind of person who keeps their promises. You're building self-respect, and trust me, that is the foundation for every other success in your life. All right, so once you get a few of those small habits locked in and they feel automatic, you can start applying this idea of discipline to bigger parts of your life. And 2 of the most critical areas are how you kick off your day
and how you handle your money.
Rohn was famous for saying that if you win the morning, you win the day. This super simple ritual right here is designed to destroy decision fatigue and build momentum right away. I mean, the second you choose to get out of bed instead of hitting that snooze button, you've already won your first battle of the day. And then, by tackling your hardest, most important task first, you guarantee that the rest of the day feels easy by comparison. This is financial discipline boiled down to its absolute core. It's not about how much money you make, it's about your philosophy. Before you pay the rent, before you buy groceries, you take a percentage, let's say 10%, and you put it away for your future self. You pay yourself first. This one simple act totally shifts your mindset from being a consumer to being an investor in your own future. And then you just learn to live on what's left. It forces you to be creative, and it builds wealth automatically.
Now, let's be real for a second. As you start this journey, your old habits, your old ways of thinking, they are going to fight back hard. You're going to get flooded with all these great sounding reasons and excuses for why you can skip just this once. The trick is to see them coming and get ahead of them. So when a young, totally broke Jim Rohn was complaining to his mentor that he couldn't possibly afford to save any money, his mentor hit him with this devastatingly simple question. He just asked, "Who sold you on that plan?" It just stops you in your tracks, right? It forces you to realize that most of your so-called limitations aren't real. They're just stories you've been selling to yourself. So let's use this as a tool. When your brain pipes up with, I'll start tomorrow, you just remind yourself, someday isn't a day of the week. When it says, I don't feel like it, you remember that successful people act first, and the good feelings come after the action. And when it tells you, I can't afford to save, you gotta ask yourself, is it really can't, or is it actually won't?
And please, please hear this. This is so crucial. You are going to have setbacks. You'll miss a day. You'll eat the donut. The goal is not a perfect unbroken chain. The goal is to just never miss 2 days in a row. A setback is just an event. Quitting, that's a decision. A disciplined person simply gets right back on track the very next day. No drama.
So once you've learned to call out those excuses and get back on track, how do you make this consistency actually stick? It's all about creating momentum. Start with just one thing you know you can do. Track it on a calendar so you can see that chain building and you won't want to break it. Surround yourself with people who are also trying to improve, people who lift you up. And just remember, the most beautiful part of all of this, when you get disciplined with your health, it starts to spill over into your finances. When you get disciplined with your finances, it improves your relationships. It all works together, creating this powerful upward spiral of success in every single area of your life. Your life tomorrow is literally the sum of the decisions you make starting right now. You can't change yesterday, but you have absolute power over the future. And it all starts with one small, disciplined choice. So what's it going to be? What is the one tiny action you're going to take today that, when you repeat it over and over, will change everything?